Hey y'all, my name is Nat and welcome to my channel. Okay, so for those of y'all who happen to have been subscribed for a while, you might be wondering what happened to my old videos. Basically, I just felt like I needed a fresh start. Over the past few years, I haven't been super consistent with posting, either here on BookTube or on Bookstagram. And I felt like in order to break that cycle, I kind of just needed to start from scratch. So that's what we're doing. Also, a lot has changed in the last few years and I wanted my content to reflect like who I am as a reader and as person a little bit more. There was also a little bit of a gender dysphoria factor in that a lot of my older videos, my hair's a lot longer and it just makes me uncomfortable to see those videos. So fresh start. And now that we got that out of the way, to those of you who are new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Nat, as I mentioned earlier. My pronouns are they, them, and she, her. Please use both. I mostly read sci-fi fantasy across pretty much all age demographics. I'd say mostly adult and YA, and then a little bit of middle grade every now and then. And occasionally I like to branch out into romance, especially if it's a sapphic romance. That's a little bit about my reading taste. One more housekeeping thing before we get into the BookTube Newbie Tag. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know that 2021 was a pretty tough year for me health-wise. I had a chronic illness flare-up and then I developed a new chronic illness. So I'm still adjusting to all of that and I don't really know what content creation looks like for me right now. I do obviously want to break that cycle of inconsistency, but I don't know yet what consistency looks like for me with a chronic illness. So just bear with me as I figure all of that stuff out. I can't really know what kind of a schedule I can handle until I just do it and see how it goes. Okay, so now that all the housekeeping stuff is out of the way, let's get into the BookTube Newbie Tag, which I never actually did my first time around with BookTube. So I feel like we're already doing better. Oh, sorry y'all, I lied. One more housekeeping thing. I just wanted to mention that I will be captioning all of my videos. I myself am deaf. I have 2 chronic illnesses, so accessibility is obviously something that's super important to me as a disabled person, and I just wanted to mention that if there's anything that I can do to improve accessibility, either here on BookTube or on Bookstagram, please let me know, and I will absolutely work on implementing that. Without further ado, let's actually get into the BookTube Newbie Tag. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? And it's interesting reading these questions now, and I can't help but think back to when I first started this channel back in 2017, and like so much has changed. Because back then my answer probably would have been like most likely what everybody says, you know, I love reading and I love talking about books, and I don't have a lot of people in real life that I can talk to about books, so the internet it is. I mean, all of that's still true, of course, but I think, you know, we've lived in a pandemic for the past couple of years and we've spent most of our time at home. Now a lot of people are starting to kind of go back out in the world, and I can't because I've been dealing with these health issues and being in a car exacerbates my symptoms, so I still spend most of my time at home. And, you know, creative inspiration has been tough to come by, and I guess I'm also kind of just looking for a creative outlet again and a sense of community when I can't really leave my house. But also, I really love books and I want to nerd out about them on the internet. What are some fun and unique things that you can bring to BookTube? I mean, I don't know how unique this really is because I feel like I know of other booktubers who work in film and television, went to film school, whatever. But I was a film major in college, specifically with a focus on screenwriting and producing for television. I've done a few internships with development and production companies where I've had to do coverage, which is basically where you read scripts or you read books and you summarize them, you give your feedback, and basically tell the company whether you think that project would be a good fit for them. So I have spent a lot of time thinking about book adaptations, and I really enjoy reading books in that way of like considering what could be an interesting way to adapt this to the screen. So yeah, I'm trying to think of ways that I could incorporate my film school background to this channel. I do have a general like discussion on adaptations kind of in the works already. It's just mainly like talking about the adaptation process, what I think works well and what doesn't. I might do some deep dives on adaptations that have already been made, maybe speculate about future adaptations, or even just like dream out loud about adaptations that I would like to see. I don't know yet. If y'all have any requests, feel free to let me know down in the comments. Okay, third question. What are you most excited about for this channel? I mean, pretty much just what I was saying earlier about finding a sense of, you know, connection and community with people in a time when I can't really go out and socialize like I I used to. I'd say that's what I'm most excited about. I'm also really excited to just kind of have some form of a creative outlet. You know, like 2021, I was basically just in survival mode. I didn't really have the spoons to do the things that I love doing, even reading. So I'm excited to just kind of get back to doing what I love. Question number 4 is, why do you love reading? And I think as somebody who's primarily like a big SFF reader, the main reason is probably the escapism factor of it all. You know, it's nice to be able to kind of get out of my own head and temporarily live a completely different life. But I mean, I don't necessarily go into every book for that reason, you know. Especially lately, I've been wanting to read more nonfiction, and in that case, you know, the goal is to learn something new or expand upon knowledge that I might already have. Sometimes I read to challenge myself, and sometimes I read to just turn off my brain for a little bit, you know? I think part of what makes reading such a great hobby is that you can get so many different things out of it, and each book can bring different value to your life, I guess. What book or series got you into reading? Okay, this one's complicated. I mean, it's not, okay. I read a lot as a kid, but I didn't really consider myself a reader until I was in middle school. So it kind of just depends on what you would consider the starting point to be. I did read a lot before middle school. I read mostly nonfiction books about animals. Mostly dogs, sometimes dinosaurs, and wildlife as well. I went through like a marine biology phase when we had to do a project in school about like the ocean or something, probably in 2nd grade, and I got really into learning more about the ocean from that. So, and any fiction that I did read when I was a kid was always about animals. Like I read the Animal Arc books. I read the Puppy Place books. Those were like my go-to. The Magic Treehouse books that I read were like the one about dinosaurs and the one about unicorn, or a unicorn, I don't know. But I didn't consider reading to be like a main hobby of mine when I was in like elementary school. However, the book series that I largely credit my love of reading to, especially my love of SFF, would be Percy Jackson. Yes, this is a movie cover. This was my first copy of The Lightning Thief. So I actually also think that this is a pretty good movie cover, as much as we all hate the movie. But yeah, this is my like super worn copy of it, you know, like all bent and creased. But this was like the series that like once I read this series, I didn't want to stop reading, and I would actually start getting in trouble for reading in class. This is like my official answer, but if you want to get technical, it was some nonfiction book about animals. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Well, I'd ask Kayla from Books and Lala, and I'm sure she gets this question all the time, but like, where do you come up with your ideas? Oh my gosh, her vlogs are so fun. They also seem very time consuming though. Yeah, I'd ask probably any of my favorite creators that same question, like how do you stay inspired to keep creating content? Any time management tips? Oh, any tips for setting boundaries with social media? That would also be a question I might ask. So yeah, if any booktubers find this video, got any advice? Especially any booktubers with chronic illness, what do you do? But yeah, I think that's it. I also kind of would just like to take a moment to gush over some of my favorite booktubers. Jessie from Bowties and Books, Jenny from The Story Ain't Over, Starla from Starla Enjoys, Allie from Allie with Books, Joel from Fictional Faith, oh my gosh, a bicon, truly. Sam from Thoughts on Tome, I love. Maddie from My Name is Maddie Inez, Bree from Locked Fictition. Anytime Bree is like going live for reading sprints, I need to be there. You know whose reading sprints I do love also though? Ashley from Bookish Realm, because I know she's mostly there to chat and I enjoy her chat. Oh, Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin. I've really been enjoying his videos lately as well. I'll link everybody that I mentioned down below, and I'll probably link some more people that I forgot to mention. So next question is, what challenges do you think in starting a booktube channel will be hardest to overcome? In 2017, the answer to this question would have been editing, because I hate editing. And that's still true. But funnily enough, I don't think that's going to be the hardest thing for me to do now. I think the hardest thing for me to do is going to be filming, just because I don't really know how I'm going to feel on any given day. So it's harder to like schedule time to film. Whereas editing, I mean, unless it's like a really, really bad day and I have absolutely zero spoons to do anything, then, you know, like, it'll be easier to schedule that in, I think. However, you know, it could still be editing. That remains to be seen. We'll find out, I guess. I also worry a little bit about running out of ideas. I'm kind of hoping that it'll be like my first screenwriting class, because I originally went to film school just to my main focus was on producing, and there were only 2 classes in the producing track at my school, so I had to do something else to fill out my degree, and I was like, I guess I'll try screenwriting, and I was so nervous. I felt like I wasn't gonna have enough ideas to get me through an entire semester of intro to screenwriting, and every week somehow I kept coming up with new ideas, and so I'm hoping that that will be the case here, crossing my fingers. When did you start reading? I kind of mentioned this earlier, but I mean, I've been reading pretty much since I was able to. I don't know how old I was when I first learned to read, but I didn't really consider reading to be a main hobby of mine until I was in 6th grade, so about 10, maybe 11 years old. Next question is, where do you read? Either on the couch in the living room or down here in the basement on a beanbag chair. I used to read in my bed, but I am no longer allowed to because of the health issues that I was experiencing. At first, we thought that I might have a sleep disorder, and so my doctor wanted me to improve my sleep hygiene. So part of that was keeping my bed just for sleep, and so now I don't read in bed, and that makes me sad. I do miss it. To be fair, the sleep hygiene has helped me with falling asleep, but I still don't sleep great, so, you know. But yeah, I either read down here or in the living room. Hey y'all, so I ended up having to refilm this last question, so if the framing is super different, that's why. I don't think it's super different, but like it might bump continuity, so there's that. So the last question is, what kind of books do you like to read? Which I actually answered this question before I even started the tag. Whoops. So I'll just like talk about some of my favorite books, I guess. Obviously, already mentioned the Percy Jackson series. Another old fave is, you know, Grishaverse, classic. So a recent favorite of mine is Ray Bear and Redemptor. Those 2 are like up there in some of my favorite books that I've read so far this year. So good. Lately, like, YA has kind of skewed a little bit more like middle of the road kind of lately. This is like the most excited I have been about YA. This and Legendborn, which is up there. I can't reach that one, but it's there. The Gilded Wolves is another favorite. The Winter Night trilogy, finally finished that this year. Loved it. She Who Became the Sun was another one of my favorites that I read last year. This is the only book in the Sapphic Trifecta of 2021 that I have read so far, so hopefully I can finish that out this year. One of my goals. So yeah, those are some of my favorite SFF books and series. Let me know down in the comments what kind of books y'all enjoy reading. Do we share any favorites? Let me know. But that's it for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos from me, make sure to click that subscribe button as well. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye!